Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about budget Gruul Ponza in Modern. So, a couple things before we get started here. As always, let me know in the comment section below. Do you like the list? Do you hate the list? Do you think I don't know how to deck build? Just let me know in the comment section below. The second thing is a little bit different than our budget series that we normally do. So normally we do $50 and under, but today we're going to be doing under $100, mostly because with how Ponza is as a deck, it's really hard to get it under $50 to at least make it like somewhat playable and kind of do the things that Ponza needs to do. So obviously it's different than the $50, but still a great budget deck overall. So we're hopping right into it here. So our creatures, today we're playing 4 Arbor Elf, 1/1 for 1, tap it, untap target forest. Great card, we'll explain why it's even better later. We have 1 Ignoble Hierarch. It's a 0/1 for 1 green with Exalted, which means whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And we can tap it for black, red, or green. Obviously, we're only going to be tapping it for red or green most of the time. 4 Bonecrusher Giant. We have the instant side Stomp, red and 1. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Deals 2 damage to any target. And the flip side, it's a 4/3 for 3. When it becomes a target of a spell, Bonecrusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Just a really great flex card. It's a 3-drop. It's a removal spell. Awesome card. 4 Bloodbraid Elf. 3/2 for 4 with Haste and Cascade. When you cast this spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you hit a card with lesser converted mana cost. Then we get to cast that spell for free. So it's a 3/2 for 4. That gives us a free spell. Awesome card to be playing in a deck like this. Then we're playing 1 Thrun the Last Troll. 4/4 for 4. Can't be countered and is hexproof. Can't be the target of spells or abilities our opponents control. Then we can tap 1 and a green to regenerate it. It's a really, really hard creature to move in this deck. That's why we're playing just 1. But great card overall. We're playing 3 Stormbreath Dragons. 4/4 for 3 red. Flying and haste. Protection from white. Very relevant in a modern format where there's leyline bindings and solitudes everywhere. When it becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand, which monstrous can be activated for 5 red, and it gets 3 1/1 counters and becomes monstrous. So very, very good dragon to be playing in a deck like this. Planeswalkers, we're playing 2 Domri Anarch Bolas. 3 loyalty for red, green, 1. Creatures you control get +1/+0. We can tap 1. Well, we can give it 1 loyalty counter, add red or green mana. Creature spells you control can't be countered this turn. Very great against counter spells. And -2, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, which means they deal damage to each other equal to their power. Great Planeswalker to be playing, especially against like the Murktide decks where they love to counter our creature spells. Then spells. We have 4 Lightning Bolts, 1 red instant, 3 to any target. Awesome card. We have 1 Pillage. Red 1 sorcery, destroy target artifact or land. It can't be regenerated. We're playing just 1, mostly because of our mana base here. And we're playing 4 Stone Rain. 2 in a red sorcery, destroy target land. Very simple card. We're playing more Stone Rains and Pillages because of our mana base restrictions with not playing like fetches and shocks. So that's why we're playing more Stone Rains. Enchantments. We're playing 4 Utopia Sprawl. 1 green for an enchantment. Enchant Forest. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. When Enchanted Forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional mana of the chosen color. It's very, very great with Arbor Elf, mostly because we can go turn 1 Arbor Elf, then we go turn 2 Utopia Sprawl on an untapped land named Red, and then we have 4 mana on turn 2, which is awesome to be playing in a deck like this. So yeah, Utopia Sprawl, great card. It's one of the most expensive cards in the entire deck, actually. And then we're playing 3 Blood Moon. 2 in a red enchantment. Non-basic lands are mountains. Weird that Blood Moon is eligible for a budget deck. But part of the reason that we're at the $100 mark is because if you look at the current price, it's $31 for 3 Blood Moons and $22 for 4 Utopia Sprawls. That's like our whole budget for a $50 deck. So that's why we're up to the $100 this time. Our land base, 23 lands. We get 4 Copperline Gorges, 11 Forests, 4 Carplusian Forests, 1 Kessig Wolf Run for the spice, and 3 mountains. So the only one I'm going to explain is the Kessig Wolf Run. So we can tap it for a colorless, or we can tap red, green, and X and tap it. Target creature gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Just a really good flex land overall to be playing. For that late game, like giving a creature trample to be able to get rid of somebody, it's awesome to be playing. So Then we have our sideboard. We have 3 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 colorless artifact. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card from our graveyard. We can tap it and sacrifice it, exile each opponent's graveyard. Or we can tap 1 and tap it to sacrifice and draw a card. It's just really good budget graveyard hate. Simple enough. 2 Cindervines, red and a green enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cindervines deals 1 damage to that player. Tap 1 and sacrifice Cindervines. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Cindervines deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Just a great card to be playing in general. It does a lot of things, destroys a lot of different permanents, great against like control decks. Overall, great card to have. 3 Dragon's Claw, 2 mana artifact. Whenever a player casts a red spell, you may gain 1 life. Burn. That's it. That's all this is in against. Also, it's whenever a player. So we gain life whenever we cast our spells too. 2 Plummets, green and 1 instant. Destroy target creature with flying. It destroys Murktide Regent and Darcy's. Pretty much the only reason you want to play it. Also, it can destroy Archons if that does come up. So, and now new Traxa. Traxa's floating around now. We can plummet that out of here. 2 Anger of the Gods, red 1 sorcery. Deals 3 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it. It's a board wipe. What can I say? That's about all it is. It's a very cost-efficient board wipe in for our wallets and for the mana cost. We have 1 Creeping Corrosion, 2 green sorcery. Destroy all artifacts. It's those pesky artifacts. It's annoying dealing with them. We're playing the green one just because we have a lot more green in our mana base than we do red, so that's why we're playing Creeping Corrosion, mostly just against Hammer and other decks that play a lot of artifacts. And our last card is 2 Dead and Gone. The dead side is 1 red, deals 2 damage to a creature. The gone side is 2 in a red. It returns target creature we don't control to its owner's hand. Very good against the Murktide deck, so you can bring it in against you can bring it against Rhinos too, to bounce a Rhino to get rid of it, just because they are kind of annoying to have to deal with. So that's kind of what we want for the Dead and Gones anyways. So that is our deck here today. Budget Gruul Ponza. There definitely was a few different combinations of cards we could have played in general. My PC is on low, and I apologize for that. But, you know, we could have played Glorybringer over Stormbreath. A lot of it's kind of personal preference and metagame. You know, if there's not a lot of white decks going around in your metagame, probably Stormbreath Dragon is definitely worth considering. A lot of it just comes down to, you know, overall, what do you think of the list? So, but that is our list here today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this episode of the Budget Deck Series. Again, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about the list? What would you change? Is there a deck that you want me to build on here? Because honestly, this was a viewer submitted. They wanted to see a budget Ponza deck, and we shared it today. So just let me know in the comments below if there's a deck that you'd like to see here. I'm Commander Crane. I'll catch you in the next episode.